What is an existential crisis, in your opinion?
I mean, it's a word that sometimes people reach when they feel that the building blocks of their life have ceased to make sense. That for all sorts of reasons, the place they find themselves in no longer feels like it makes sense anymore. You might have a sense of, why am I in this relationship? Why am I in this job? Why do I live in the country I live in, etc.? And existential crises are good things. We should have them. They are positive things. They often happen on a Sunday evening. Sunday evening is that moment in the week when there's a gap to question, why am I me? What's this assumption that I have about what I should be doing? And to regularly submit yourself to a complete existential audit, as it were, to go, could I be someone totally different? Is it all gone wrong, etc.? That's a sign that you're a questioning person. Don't get me wrong, it's terrifying. It's terrifying to feel that most of what we're doing is slightly arbitrary. There is no necessity. We tell ourselves, well, I have to do this and I have to be here. And the existential insight is, no, you don't. We're all completely free. We could be doing other things. The necessity is one that we're putting on ourselves. But that's dizzying. I mean, that's existential vertigo. And we think, oh my God, I've got so much possibility that I don't know where to start. I love the idea of fleeting thoughts that, because what do we mean? We mean thoughts that are on the outer perimeter of consciousness, that have some clue as to what we should be doing next in all sorts of areas. They're
part of that metal detector again.
Yeah, they're carrying hints, suggestions, but they're hard to reach because, again, they're to do with learning, and we don't like learning. Learning's really difficult because it throws into question how we've been doing things. And to be able, there should be classes on this, how to land your fleeting thoughts. Plato had this idea that thinking was like an aviary in which birds are flying around all the time. And the philosophical challenge is to land those birds and be able to study them. But most of the time they're whizzing in and out. And so they're not just fleeting thoughts, they're racing thoughts. And to be able to still things enough, I sometimes think a very basic exercise to lie down in bed and ask yourself, what am I really feeling? What's really going on? I know what's supposedly going on, but what am I feeling behind the feeling? What's the feeling behind the feeling? And to be able to make that hierarchy of the surface and the depths, and to realize that there's likely to be something going on in the depths all the time that's a bit different. An anxiety, a sadness, a worry, a desire for tenderness, whatever it is. If you can be somebody who gives space to the fleeting thoughts, you're going to become a much richer human being. And remember the old adage, we can only go so far with other people as we've gone with ourselves. We can only be interesting to other people insofar as we've paid attention to the more neglected bits of ourselves. And one of the weirder bits of social life is some people make you feel quite boring and other people make you feel really interesting. Isn't that a weird thing? Why is that? The people who make you feel boring are people who haven't opened many doors in themselves.
And some people are interesting. Some people make you feel interesting.
But, it's really important to say, this is not flattery. When someone makes you feel interesting, it's not that they're flattering you, oh, that's amazing. It's not that. They genuinely unleash an interest which is actually in you. You know what I mean? It's not a con trick. People are interesting, but they need an audience to release that interest.